Hey guys, HCGChica again. I wanted to come on today because I got an interesting question from somebody on YouTube who got a little confused by my HCG journey at first. I have, 175 videos now, and I guess as they were browsing through the videos, it appeared as if I had to keep going back on HCG to lose weight. Because when you look at my videos, and if you don't watch them all, which of course, who's going to do that, 175 videos, it appears as if I keep revisiting the same weight, as if I can't keep the weight off. So I wanted to discuss that because that's actually not true, and thankfully I was able to clear that up with this person, but it made me realize that for all the new people who are finding me, I don't want to confuse people, and I don't want to give HCG a bad name. So I thought I would make a vlog basically explaining how I've done the HCG diet in a nutshell, and what's gone on with me. That way people won't, be confused and think that I can't keep the weight off and I have to keep going back on it, because that's actually totally not true. So what I want to do is just explain what's going on. First of all, let me just say, aside from round 2, I'm finishing my 5th round of HCG right now. Aside from round 2, I have kept off almost 100% of my fat loss through HCG without, going back on HCG to re-lose weight. I have not had to re-lose any fat, okay? So let me say that first. My first round started in February of 2011. It's now, end of October 2012. I take really long breaks between my HCG rounds as well. And during that time, I eat a lot of food. I eat really healthy, but a lot of food. I don't count calories, and I maintain my fat loss. So I'm going to just go into a little detail about that. My journey with HCG is a little bit, it's a little bit unique, I guess you could say, because I kind of have specific goals in mind that aren't really related to just being a certain scale weight or being a certain size clothing or, something like that. I have in my nature that I enjoy being fit, and I enjoy sporty type stuff. So once I realized what HCG could do, I've basically been trying to kind of cycle my way down to a lower body fat percent, not to a lower weight necessarily. So what I wanted to say was, after round 1, I lost 27 pounds on my first round of HCG. I had no problem maintaining that weight loss, and I took I think a 3-month break from HCG. I had no problem maintaining that weight loss during that time. Round 2, that is what I would call a failed round. I did have to re-lose that weight. I regained almost all the weight that I lost on round 2. And what can I say? I messed up. I think most of us mess up at one point or another on our weight loss journey. So yes, that time I did have to re-lose that weight, which I did on round 3. Now my 3rd round of HCG ended basically at the very end of November of 2011. So basically December 2011, we could say the beginning of there, ended round 3. At that point, I ended up at about 124.8 pounds when I went in to have my body fat tested hydrostatically. And at that point, I was at 27% body fat, which means that out of my about 125 pounds that I weighed, 34 pounds of me was fat. So that was the beginning of December. I took a 4-month break from December to the end of March to April, December to April. During that time, for 3 months, I started going to CrossFit. 3 months? Let's count here. 3 months, I started going to CrossFit, which is a intense, high-intensity interval training combined with weightlifting. It's a totally awesome program. It's their specialty CrossFit gyms all across the world, actually. So I did that for 3 months. During that 3-month period, I gained weight, but most of that weight was muscle. When I went in to have my hydrostatic body fat test at the end of March, I weighed 132.5 pounds. So that is, let's say, what is that? It's about 7.5 pounds higher than when I ended my 3rd round of HCG, right? But 7 pounds of that was muscle. So I only regained half a pound of fat. And for anyone who is trying to gain muscle, those people know it's actually pretty tough to gain muscle without gaining some fat. So those statistics are pretty phenomenal. So I only gained back a half pound. So during that whole 4 months, I was not counting calories. I was going to CrossFit. I was gaining weight. And I was eating a lot of good food. But I kept off almost all of the fat loss. No problem. I only gained that half pound, okay? So at that time, I then had 34.3 pounds of fat, so like a teeny bit more fat than when I ended round 3. But my body fat percent dropped a little bit to 25.9, which is about a 1% body fat drop. And that's because I gained so much muscle without gaining fat with it. Okay, so that brings us to the end of March. Then I did round 4, only 3 weeks, just a short 3-week round for round 4. During that time, I actually only lost a little over 5 pounds, and that put me back down to 127.4, so still a little higher than the end of round 3. But my pounds of fat, how much fat I have, was actually less, almost 4 pounds less than at the end of round 3. So see, I was still losing new fat, even though I'm actually a higher weight now. So at 127.4, I went back in to have my body fat tested at the beginning of May, and I had lost 2% body fat again. So now I was at 23.93% body fat, and I had 30.5 pounds of fat. So remember, just back in December, at 125 pounds, I actually had 34 pounds of fat. Now I'm 127.5 pounds, and I only have 30.5 pounds. So I have about 4 pounds less fat, but I weigh about 3 pounds more at this point, okay? And this is in May, round 4. Okay, so after this, from May through the end of September, I had a 5-month break from HCG again. No HCG, 5 months off. I again was going to CrossFit 3 to 4 days a week, not counting calories, eating super healthy, but a lot. I'm telling you guys, I don't eat 1,200 calories, okay? I eat a lot of fat. I eat a lot of fruit once I finish P3, of course. And a lot of vegetables, and I'm very liberal with my calories. I probably take in about at least 2,000, if not 2,500, okay? I'm not saying anyone can do this. I think I can do that because I go to CrossFit. But that's what I did for 5 months, okay? During that 5-month period, I gained weight again, and I got up to 133 pounds. But once again, when I went to have my hydrostatic body fat test, out of that weight that I had gained, only a half pound of that was fat. Okay, so I had 30.5 pounds of fat at 127 pounds. Then when I went in at 133 pounds and was tested, I had 31 pounds of fat. So I had only gained a half pound of fat. All the rest of that weight gain was muscle. Okay, so I think it was about 5 pounds of muscle. Yeah, about 5 or 6 pounds of muscle. Okay, in that 5 months. Once again, during that 5-month period, I maintained almost 100% of my fat loss. And now you can see through my whole journey, except for round 2, that's a wash. We're tossing that one out the window. I've maintained almost 100% of my fat loss. Okay. So that brings us to about right now. I started round 5 at the end of September. We're getting towards the end of October. So I've been on HCG for round 5 for 4 weeks. I just had a hydrostatic body fat test done again. And right now I'm at about 19.8% body fat. And I'm 120.2 pounds. Okay. So that means right now I have about 24 pounds of fat on my body. Now compare that to back in December when I was 124 pounds. So I only weighed a few pounds more back in December when I finished round 3. But at that time, I had 34 pounds of fat. Now I have 24 pounds of fat. I have 10 pounds less fat at pretty much almost the same weight. I'm a few pounds less, but that's it. And I expect to actually gain a few pounds back of water weight and muscle as soon as I get off, okay? So basically, since December, I've lost another 7% body fat. by cycling the HCG with the CrossFit. Now, keep in mind, I've only done 2 rounds of HCG now since the beginning of the year. Actually, since December. So it's been actually, what, like 10 or 11 months, okay? 10 or 11 months. And during that time, I only did 2 rounds of HCG, one which I'm finishing right now. One round was only 3 weeks long of that 10 months. And this round is going to be 4 or 5 weeks, okay? So only 7 or 8 weeks, okay? Only 7 or 8 weeks of that time, of the last 10 or 11 months, have I been on HCG. The rest of the time, I have been eating healthy, good amount of calories, but healthy, of course, going to CrossFit, and just enjoying my life. But this was really important to me to explain to you guys, because it never occurred to me that, you know, when you're looking through my vlogs and you see back in, you know, December, I weigh 124 pounds, and then you see me here now in October, 10 months later, getting to 124 pounds again, and I can totally see why. What's going on? Why does this girl keep like having to get back to her weight she was? And so that's why you see my weight go up. It's not fat gain. I'm not gaining fat. I'm gaining muscle. In fact, what it turns out is that I've gained about 12 pounds of muscle just in 9 months of going to CrossFit, which is crazy good. But I did want to clarify that so that you guys know that the HCG diet is very effective. It's so effective, and I have had no trouble maintaining my fat loss. In fact, at the very beginning, when I first started working out and doing some muscle building with CrossFit, you know, I really just started that at the beginning of this year in December, January. I didn't really understand that, and I was finding my weight starting to go up after my rounds, and it was kind of freaking me out at first. And oh no, why? What am I gonna do? I'm gaining weight. And but I finally realized, after experiencing this enough now and having my body fat tested a number of times, that those weight gains are all muscle. So that's not something that I worry about anymore, because that's what I'm trying to achieve. And what this means is that basically, even though I weigh about the same as I did 10 months ago, I'm much smaller. My body's smaller. I have 10 pounds less fat at the same weight. Before, I was just squeezing into a size 4, and I was so excited back in December. I could squeeze into a size 4, and I've been a size 4 this whole time. But now, with this round, having so much less fat, at about the same weight, I am now, all my 4s fit totally comfortably. They're actually somewhat loose, and I'm fitting into a bunch of 2s now, and my upper body is much smaller. So, so anyway, that was my ultimate goal, is basically to just kind of long-term whittle my way down. HCG is so amazing, and I just want to make sure that there's accurate information out there, and I definitely don't want to be the one to mislead anyone. If you want to find out anything more about the diet itself, you can go to hCGChica.com. That's my website. The entire site is all stuff that I've uploaded myself, and I'm continuing to add to it on a weekly basis. I'm just trying to make it a really comprehensive resource for anyone who is researching the diet, or who is on the diet, or anyone who's perhaps tried HCG in the past but was not able to successfully keep the weight off, but maybe you're looking into it again. Because I feel like I'm living proof that this protocol can work if you make it work for you. Like I said, I've been maintaining all my fat losses now for over a year with no problem. And I feel great. My life's totally different. And you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye.